Start with the countdown to today's Fed decision amidst, of course, concerns about regional banks, particularly yesterday as I was getting ready to leave Milken. We were watching, many of those shares decline dramatically, Jim. Yeah. Let's start off on the Fed, though. I assume you don't have any new thoughts, or do you, in terms of incorporating some of these continued concerns about parts of the banking sector?
Well, I mean, I've been saying that this is a 100 basis point problem, that you're getting 100 basis points of tightening. Even down to the granularity. I mean, you go listen to the Ford call, which I felt was excellent, market not reflecting it. People are talking about how do you buy cars? Cars are done by regional banks. There are parts of the economy that are not controlled by regional banks. A terrific quarter by Simon Properties last night. Simon Group Properties does not need a regional bank.
No.
But when you do a transaction, when you typically get, say, you're a retailer, smaller retailer, and you have to have inventory, that's a regional bank. And the regional banks don't want to watch their stocks. But we get a number of stories today saying that it's very easy to knock these stocks down using an ETF. And then the banks have to spend a lot of time defending. And if they have to defend, they're not going to loan. So it's kind of a vicious cycle downward right now.
Yeah. Right. The stock price can get people concerned. And as we've pointed out so many times, and what is so different now about really the state of affairs, even not that many years ago, is the ability to rapidly move your money at the stroke of your finger.
And one of the worst things, David, is that we're not going to get these how much is insured until the end of the quarter. So it's very possible that a lot more is insured than you realize.
Right.
But if the FDIC were simply to say, listen, we're going to insure by bank, that would take away the pressure. But right now, the FDIC, which failed miserably this weekend because it gave at 3 a.m., it gave it to J.P. Morgan without any thought about maybe it's important to have regional banks be strong. The FDIC doesn't seem to have a plan for a PacWest. They don't have a plan for Zions.
I assume it would be over time encouraging consolidation. I mean, I did have a number of conversations in the last couple of days, given how many people are at Milken from senior
and that was
people
great
in finance. No, but you have you go there really to have the off-camera conversations, obviously, and this idea that we're going to need another period of consolidation now. It's unclear how that will be viewed by regulators, but perhaps it should be encouraged to the sense that you need to create even more super regionals. We still have more banks by far than any country in the world. We have this tradition of having these smaller regional banks and community banks.
Historically, we like that because it's good for the community.
Yes.
Now, take a really excellent bank like Key. Okay, they have a ridiculously high yield right now because the stock's been pressed down. They've got remarkable management. They are one of the best operators that I've come across.
Right.
Should they be so-called wiped out? Chris Gorman, who's done a remarkable job because their yield's 8.44 and they happen to be in an ETF.
Right.
I mean, wow, they're like the savior of Cleveland. They're the bank that you go to in Cleveland if you're going to build a building or if you're going to do a store. I think they're vital. I think they're a vital company.
And these are continued questions we're going to have then as to what you do if you're the FDIC. And, if you were to say there's blanket insurance for everyone, then obviously you create potentially moral hazard, or you have to regulate all the banks truly like utilities. That's all they really can
and you
become.
have to cut their profitability.
You have to cut their profitability. Or at the same time, do you do it for businesses, which really are not looking out for a lot of different things, but have a lot of money coming in and out of their regional.
Right, but how about if you guaranteed it to 500,000? These are nitpicking.
Right. Or you could go to 500,000.
A bank could apply for additional insurance. But we can't have what is happening now.
That said, there is this implied belief that every time they go into receivership, there's going to be a systemic exemption that makes sure every depositor is insured.
But I don't want to get too granular, but the fact is that a Key or a Huntington Bank, they're being punished because they own treasuries. It's not because they have bad credit.
Nope.
So, but the FDIC has been remarkably silent. Treasury has been, it dumbfounds me because, these are big issues. And we don't want the middle tier banks that are responsible for a lot of the growth in America to be wiped out because of an ETF took them down to 8.
Agreed.